Hello everyone, it's Spurs Reading 96 here, and welcome to another Train Sim World video on my channel. Today I am doing the second of my route suggestion videos that I forgot to publish and put up a long time ago, so I can guarantee this will be the last route suggestion video for the foreseeable future. And the reason behind that is because I want to focus on other projects on my channel such as FIFA and Forza Motorsport 7 content. So the route I'm looking at today, is it the best one I've saved till last? Well, that's up to you to decide, but the one I'm looking at today is another route from the United Kingdom, and the route in question is the London Waterloo-Reading Line. The time period I've set it in is roughly 2017-2018 time period, and that is operated by South West Trains. So I'll be taking a look at what the route is, the history of it, the locomotives I've chosen for this route, the services that will come with this pack, as well as assessing the chances of it appearing in Train Sim World. So without any further ado, let's take a look at it. Enjoy! So the London Waterloo to Reading line is an electric line between London Waterloo and Reading. The line runs west through a series of southwest London suburbs to Reading and central Berkshire. It's operated by South Western Railway, or in this case, South West Trains. It is the core of a group of lines and branches heading generally westwards from London Waterloo, providing predominantly passenger services into London. All of the branches and connecting lines have direct services into a dedicated platform at a group of platforms at Waterloo, so most of the services using the line do not run the whole length of the line. The line is 43 miles long and has 26 stations. It is operated by 750 volt DC third rail. Now, in terms of the stations on the route, there are various stations. I'm not going to go through all of them because the video would take far too long to complete, but there are various highlights, such as, of course, Reading, which we already have in Train Sim World, Clapham Junction, the busiest station in the United Kingdom, that will also be in Train Sim World soon, with help thanks to the Brighton Main Line, and of course London Waterloo. It would be fantastic to have that in the game, with some of London's iconic landmarks in the distance, you know, the London Eye, Big Ben, the Houses of Parliament, the River Thames, etc, etc. This is also 2 tracks, and it's predominantly a slow route compared to the other line we have, which goes to Reading, the London Paddington to Reading line, as part of the Great Western Express. So you get a different experience of the fast way of travelling from Reading to London, and this route, you get to experience the slower way of going from Reading to London. So now let's take a look at the locomotives that will be featured in this route proposal. So the first locomotive is the BR Class 450. These are third rail DC electric multiple unit passenger trains that have been in service since 2003. They were built by Siemens Transportation in Germany, and they are part of the Dicero family. They replace various locomotives such as the Class 111, the 411, 412, 421 and the 423. They were constructed between 2002 and 2006 and entered service between 2003 and 2006. 127 train sets were built and 127 remain in service to this day. The formations you can expect is 4 cars per train set. The capacity you can have is 16 first class passengers and 269 standard class passengers per train set. They are operated by the 750 DC third rail and have a maximum speed of 100 miles per hour. In August, they were transferred to the South Western Railway, owned by First Group, and the MTA Corporation. They certainly have become iconic, particularly on the London Waterloo to Reading line, for the South West Trains branding, in my personal opinion. This is the locomotive I would like to have and would be the standout of the pack. But of course there is another locomotive that will also be included with my route proposal of the London Waterloo to Reading line, so let's take a look at that. So the next locomotive is the BR Class 707 Dicero City. This is an electric multiple unit, once again built by Siemens Mobility in Germany. Built 35 carriage sets for the South West Trains currently. They will be transferred to Southeastern later this year in 2021. They were constructed between 2015 and 2018. Of course, 30 sets were built. In terms of formations, there are 5 carriages per set. The capacity is 275 seats, plus you can also have 320 people standing if necessary. In terms of other statistics, they replaced various classes such as the Class 450 and the 458. and they have been in service since August 2017. So these would be, if you like, the third the new kids on the block, if you like, when it comes down to South West Trains' latest collection of up-to-date locomotives. The maximum output of this locomotive is 100 miles per hour and can produce 1,600 horsepower, of course operating on the 750 volt DC third rail. I think both of these locomotives, the 450 and the 707, will be certainly very much welcomed with open arms by the Train Sim World community. These kind of modern passenger electric multiple units, people have been crying out to see in Train Sim World. Yes, we've got the 377 and the 387, but they want something completely different, and I think that's what these locomotives offer, not just from a variety perspective, but certainly for driving characteristics, the sounds, the visuals. It'll just be something completely new for everyone to enjoy and experience. So anyway, let's take a quick look at the services that will operate on the London Waterloo to Reading line. So in the current timetable, there are 2 trains per hour running between London Waterloo and Reading every day of the week. The Reading service only calls at major stations such as Clapham Junction, Richmond, Twickenham, Feltham, Staines, and then all stations stops to Reading. During the peak hours, additional trains are run, which skip the likes of Winnish, Winnish Triangle and Early, and add stops at Vauxhall and Ashford in Surrey. There were also connecting lines which add additional services to the line, such as services on the Weybridge branch line, the Staines to Windsor line, the Kingston Loop line, the Hounslow Loop line, the North Downs line, the Shepperton branch line. So there are quite a lot of trains and lines that do operate on the London Waterloo to Reading line. Really make it quite compact and really quite busy, but I doubt that this will be possible, all these additional connecting lines which will add additional services on the line. I don't think that's possible, but I think 2 per hour between London Waterloo and Reading every day of the week, with a little bit of variation in the timetable, I think that's pretty decent package in terms of the services. So overall, let's head to my conclusion. I think this will be a fantastic addition to add to Train Sim World, particularly at the time of rush hour being released. This will be a tremendous package, a 43-mile line going from Reading to London Waterloo, 26 stations, 2 new locomotives, of course bringing in a new brand in South West Trains. I think this will be very much welcome from the community and will certainly benefit from the rush hour passenger technologies. I think over time you could have some maybe other DLCs locomotives being added to make the line even more busier, compact, and much more interesting experience for everyone to enjoy. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get the Waterloo to Reading line in Train Sim World 2. It would be certainly a nice route to have with all the other passenger routes in the game. But there we go, that concludes this video, my route suggestion for London Waterloo to Reading line. If you'd enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, and please subscribe if you are new for more up-to-date Train Sim World news and content from me. Links in the description below, of course, for the Twitch, Twitter, the Discord server, and the Patreon page for this channel. And as always, I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Take care.